Welcome back. So we had some technical difficulties. I think that our gimbal decided it was going to have a meltdown, and it kept shutting off. And when gimbals shut off, they just decide that they're just going to drop the phone.
Yeah, it was
apparently.
very dramatic.
It just kind of fainted. And so you kept seeing our ceiling, and that's really not what we wanted you to see this evening. So we're going to start kind of again, in a way, kind of. So, hi. So I'm Maureen, and this is Perfectly Imperfect Gift Shoppe tonight. And we're here with Dana Robinson.
Hello.
And we're looking at Shuttle Press Bindery and all the wonderful things that Dana has here at the shop. So we were in the process of talking about how Dana got into her, at the time, kind of a hobby, I would say, of doing something which is not your traditional hobby, right?
Yep.
Of like hand binding journals and books. Because like it isn't like a normal hobby.
No.
So that's where I think we kind of left off.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Tell me.
So like I said, I stumbled into it in college, absolutely fell in love with it. Was like, this is something that I can do. This is something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I went home to my family, and they were like, oh, you know, what's going on in college? What are you doing? And I started talking about letterpress, and I started talking about bookbinding. And when I went and I spoke with my grandmother about letterpress printing and how I had really, really enjoyed it, I will never forget this. She turns to me and she goes, well, your great-grandfather, her father, used to do letterpress, and his old press is down in the basement.
Oh, how cool.
And my heart just like stopped, because
it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. You don't just find these presses. They're pretty hard to find.
That is awesome.
I was just so lucky, and I was just like, it was amazing to think that something that started a couple generations before me all of a sudden just shows up, and I had no idea.
Yes.
So my grandfather brought me downstairs, and we uncovered it, and it was like...
He must have been so excited.
He was excited too, yeah. And it was just a restoration process, and this labor of love of kind of like resurrecting this beautiful old press, which, I mean, in reality, it was a little bit dusty. It needed some springs replaced, you know, kind of the normal things. I did get new rollers for it. That was my biggest investment, honestly. And I had the press up and running within a year, and then Shuttle came in 2014, which is a year after that. So once I had the tools in hand, it was an easy thing.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And then, so this is, look, right now, this is kind of like a big part of your daily life, but you do something else besides this.
I do, yeah. I'm one of those people who is kind of chronically crafting, where I am learning all different things at all different times. I do a lot of quilting, I do a lot of sewing. At the height of the pandemic, I was one of the people who was just like powering out masks all the time, just working on a bunch of stuff. But my kind of bread and butter, or my career path, or what I would consider my career path, is doing graphic design and freelance illustration for people. So it's you know, it's all in that kind of creative realm. But I tend to wander around and do a lot of different things with my time. So
you are definitely one of those great brain people, for sure. Sure. So you have been in the store now it's been about a month?
About a month, yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. People love your items. They're very unique, and I talk about it all the time. It's like old world, it's old world art, or an art form, but with a very contemporary flair to it now. And it's beautiful. I mean, there are people, I have friends who are notebook people, you know? There are always going to be those people who don't want to put anything in their phone. They don't want to put anything into a computer. They want to write it all down. I only remember things if I write it down. I hear this a lot. So there are always the people that carry a notebook with them. So those people like eat this up. Because it's lovely. So we're going to talk about some of the products that you have here in the shop.
Sure.
All right. We'll start from the front and make our way back.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, so I want to start with these lovelies, because we happen to have one of these actually on our gifting table as we think spring. So I'm going to hold up several because they're all different.
Yes, they are.
Can you explain why they're all different?
So these are my botanical journals, and they have paper on them that actually has real pieces of botanicals, so flower petals or leaves and stems and different aspects to them. Each one is 100% one of a kind. You can't reproduce that. And they're just kind of the grab and go, throw it in your purse, throw it in your pocket, bring it along with you type of either journal or sketchbook. A lot of the books that I make, or the majority of the books that I make, actually are blank pages. So whether you're an artist or somebody who just kind of wants to freeform write, these are excellent for everybody. So I'm excited for those for the springtime.
Yeah, they're so pretty.
Thank you.
mean, with like Mother's Day coming.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just beautiful.
Yep.
They look almost it's like frosted looking.
Yeah.
You know, there's like almost like a frost that's over the botanicals that are on the paper covers.
Yep.
So we have a nice variety of them. Some of them have like a yellow flower. Some of you can see the reds and the oranges. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I love these. And these are only $15. And they're just absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
And you have them wrapped in the nice cello. Beautiful presentation, handmade. And so let's talk a little about the bindery.
Sure.
The binding that you have here.
This is one of the most simple bindings that I have. It's just called a simple pamphlet stitch. It's 3 holes and linen thread. And you just kind of zip them together. These are pretty easy. In the future, we talked about potentially running a bookbinding class. This might be something that I could very easily teach to people at a very beginner level. And they look great. They open flat, which is also an essential thing for a lot of people, who, especially those who like to journal, like a book that's going to open completely flat on the table, which that style of binding is going to give you.
Yeah, that's great. So another thing that we have here, which these are my jam. I like these a lot. So these are your little multi-packs of little notebooks. These are like perfect for your pocket or your pocketbook or purse or whatever. So you have 3 in this pack. So these are a little bit bigger. And then we have 4 in the slightly smaller pack. And these are just little flip open.
They're basically, the concept for these was a list book. I'm one of those people who I would forget my head if I didn't put it on the list in the morning. You know, grab your head and go out the door. So I think it's important to just have a way to organize yourself, and so to have these little list books on you is a great way to do that. The other wonderful thing about these is that pretty much every book that I make, you're cutting down a larger piece of paper to make the interior pages. So when I cut down to, make a book that is this size, for example, I end up with a strip of paper that's left over. One of the cores of my business is being very eco-conscious and upcycling whenever I can. So it breaks my heart to think that I'm going to be throwing these narrow strips of paper away. And I said, well, what can I do with them? I can make list books with them. And so that's kind of how these were conceptualized and where they came from.
That's a great idea. So now same with these. These are the punch.
Little punch. Just a pamphlet stitch.
That's great. And I like the colors. These are nice neutral colors. What's the cover?
That's just a heavyweight scrapbooking paper. I tend to go towards stuff that's like higher quality, stuff that's archival and acid free, and anything that's got a little bit of texture, or whatever fits in with kind of the mood that I'm creating through the pieces.
Okay, can't get those back in, so we'll do that later because I have made it so I can't get them back in. So I love these. These are great. Again, nice gift ideas.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to have you grab maybe the one that's close to you with the moth on it. The journal.
This one.
Yes. So let's talk about him.
So this is this is where letterpress and bookbinding kind of combine for me.
Oh yes.
Actually, as well as illustration. So I should backtrack a little bit.
Let's talk about that.
Anything that I print, any of these designs that you see on my products, I drew by hand.
Nice.
So I illustrate, I come up with the concept, I get that made into a plate. It's actually made out of plastic. I brought one.
Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, let me hold that. You show us. She brought props.
I did bring
which
props.
I love. I love it when the artists bring props.
So this is a photopolymer plate. It's probably a little bit hard to see the design on the live stream.
Is that the squid?
But this, this is the octopus.
Oh wait, where did I put the? Oh, here he is. He's right here.
And this is made out of plastic. And basically, this is the modern era's response to letterpress printing, because anyone who knows anything about letterpress printing knows it's old lead type. It's those chunky, wood block letters that you sometimes find in rummage bins at antique shops. And the modern way of doing it is you create your design, you send it off to a foundry, essentially, and they send you back this flexible plastic plate. And that's what you use to print your designs. So, with this journal that we are talking about, the moth design on the front is letterpressed.
Okay.
And the cover of this journal is actually made out of real wood, which is,
yes.
I love wood grain stuff, so I'm so excited about that.
Okay, so I have been marveling at these since they have come in. There are multiple pieces in your collection that are made out of these very thin pieces of wood.
Yep.
So this is the one that has the moth. What kind of moth is this? Do we know?
That is called the death's head moth.
The death's head moth, because it has the skull, and this is the one that was in the movie.
It is.
Yeah, so this was the one that was in the movie The Silence of the Lambs. So you have the image here, and this is the thinnest sheet of wood, and then you have your beautiful paper, and this is incredible that this is wood.
Yeah, they're very flexible.
And it's so pretty, you see the wood grain.
Yep, and again, much like the botanical journals, no two are ever going to be alike because the wood grain is always going to be different every single time.
I mean, it's just amazing to me that you're getting this kind of a thin piece of wood.
Yep.
What kind of wood is this?
So that one I think is maple.
Wow.
I have some bookmarks that are done on cedar. I have some that are on birch, some that are on maple. There's a wide variety of wood that you can get in this style. And I found that it prints really, really well in the press. So the different colors that you can get and the different styles of wood there's always something new to try. So.
And these are only $12.
Yeah.
Again.
Yep.
Wonderful. I mean, for yourself or for somebody else, for a gift, you give somebody one of these with a really nice pen, that's a nice gift.
Yeah.
That's a great gift, actually. And I can pretty much guarantee you they do not have one of these because prior to you, I had never ever seen one of these. So that's very special. I like special.
Awesome.
That's gorgeous. Okay. All right. So let's talk about, because we've been talking about these with the press. So let's talk about your postcards.
Sure.
Can we talk about those?
Sure, absolutely. Yep. So here again is the return of the wood. These are a slightly heavier stock than what's on the covers of the books. These are wood veneer. It's 2 layers, and there's actually a layer of plastic in the middle. So these are mailable.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people pick up these postcards and they go, oh, it's beautiful, but I'm afraid it's going to break in the mail. The plastic gives it structure.
Okay, because that was one of my first questions, was how does this not break apart going through the mail process?
Right, yep, these are surprisingly flexible. It really takes a lot to bend and break these. Again, these are printed on the press, illustrated by me. The only caveat that I have about these is I believe they probably will require extra postage. I wouldn't use a postcard stamp on them. I would use a regular letter stamp.
Okay.
Just because I think the weight accounts for a little bit more than what USPS typically does, but I don't know for sure. And I've also heard from other people who have purchased these from me that they just put them in a frame and hang them on the wall.
Well, yeah, and you have it on here. So you get real wood, letterpress postcard printed on an antique tabletop press. Is this it?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Durable and mailable, may require extra postage, and can be framed as wall art, and only $8. And I mean, this is gorgeous. And then on the back, your standard, write your message here. You've got this beautiful divider that you've stamped in here, pressed in here, and then, your standard postcard address and postage area. It's absolutely divine how this is done.
Thank you.
Nobody will have gotten a postcard like this before. I can guarantee you. These are really lovely. And one of these is the octopus that you had on that stamp.
Yeah, I might
Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's right here.
There he is.
Yeah. So that particular stamp that you brought, or what do you call it?
It's a plate.
Plate. Sorry. The plate. I'll get it right at some point. The plate. So that's the octopus.
Yep.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Love that. So we have that. And only $8. That's incredible. All right, so we have been talking about your press.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is it.
This is it. And I would have brought her along tonight, but she weighs 97 pounds.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking she's heavy.
So she's pretty heavy. She is still considered a portable press in the world of letterpress. I mean, most letterpress machines are massive, and you put them. I mean, a lot of them you can only have on the ground floor of a building for obvious reasons.
Yes.
So this is considered a tabletop portable press. As I said, she's 97 pounds. She was manufactured in Meriden, Connecticut, and I looked it up. She was made sometime between 1946 and 1949.
Wow.
So I don't know exactly when my great-grandfather purchased her. I'm assuming he probably was the original owner because at the time he did live in Connecticut. So she's kind of like a little bit of a family heirloom.
She is a family heirloom.
She's very sentimental to me. And I call her she. Most letterpress places will actually name their presses.
Okay.
Her name is Imogene, which was my great-grandmother's name.
Imogene.
So,
oh,
but
nice.
she's Immy for short.
So is she stamped the Excelsior?
Yep, she is stamped the
Oh,
Excelsior.
wow.
That's her official line, was the Excelsior line of presses.
So now, this is the press plate
Yep,
here?
yep, so this is the press bed is here, and in this image there's nothing in there, but the way that I have it set up now, there's a metal base, and that's what my plastic plate gets stuck to,
Okay.
and then these rollers grab ink and roll over that plastic plate, and then I place whatever I'm going to be printing goes on this forward facing angle, and I just press down,
And it
pushes it together,
Okay.
and then I repeat over and over again.
So you can only do one at a time.
One at a time.
So
Yep,
every
everything
one
that
of
I
these
print.
things,
Yep.
one at a time.
Yep. Every single one.
So, okay. So let's make sure everyone understands this. So, this postcard that you have created,
Yes,
every one of these you have printed one at a time
correct.
on wood.
Correct.
2 pieces of wood.
Correct.
With the plastic to make it stable and stronger.
Yep.
And it's only $8.
Correct.
Oh
I
my
print one
God.
side. So I'll do a run, for example, where I'll print 50 postcards.
One at a time.
And I do just the fronts, one at a time. And I
Right.
wait for them to dry.
Yeah.
And then the next day I come back and I print just the backs. Or I'll print, just one design.
You are far more patient
It's a labor of
than
love.
I am. I thought pottery
It's a
was
labor
bad
of love.
with how long pottery takes. Oh my God, you have taken patience and artistry to a whole new level, Dana.
Admittedly though, it's a labor of love and it's a little bit of a workout. I mean, pressing that
Do you,
down
do
over
you
and
use the
over,
same arm or is it 2 arms? Are
It's
you
a
getting
two-
an
it's-
equal workout or is
equal
one side
workout.
of you like
No,
more
no, no.
Popeye than the other?
No, it's an equal workout.
Okay, just
which is
checking.
great. But
Because I'm like picturing
yeah.
you like having one arm that's like,
Yeah, no.
you know, Arnold. All right,
Yep.
so those are the postcards. So then you have your bookmarks too,
Yes.
because we've been talking
Yes,
about the
girl.
things that you press on wood, and these are
And this
beautiful.
is actually, you can see on these, this is a great example of 2 different kinds. This is a red cedar.
Yes,
So this has
so
a lot more
pretty.
of the green and the more of the reddish tone. That one is a maple.
And then there's one more
So,
over there that's got the flowers.
Oh yeah, and then this
Hold
has
that
the
one.
a floral design on it.
Yes.
So, and this one actually, this is one of the original designs that I created. It's fly fishing, which
Yeah.
was something that my great grandfather loved to do.
Oh,
So
nice.
this one hits
Near and
like
dear.
very, very home to me. But yeah, I create a variety of designs in all of these products. I try to use my plates as many places that I can.
Yep.
And it's kind of great because, especially, like, I love the octopus. It's my favorite animal.
Yep.
And what you can do if you have somebody like that in your life is you can get the bookmark, the coaster.
Yep.
You can put together kind of your own little
Nice
gift
package.
set with everything. So,
Hey guys,
yeah.
groomsmen's parties. Think of how nice a nice set of this would all be for a groom, a bunch of your groomsmen in a wedding party. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Absolutely.
These are beautiful.
Yep.
I like that idea, actually. Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Retirement parties, whatever.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Thank you.
And I just like that they're wood. They're so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So another thing that you press are your coasters.
Yes.
So we have lots of coasters.
Yep.
You have the skulls over there, I
do.
think. And I've got, what have I got? I have the
Feathers,
feathers and I have the
over there.
anchors.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have these.
Yep.
So these are in packs of 4.
Yep.
So He looks very happy.
Yeah.
So it's a set of the four for $8. So he's got the black ink. This one's got a gray, and this one's blue.
Yep.
So we get the nautical.
Yeah.
And then we have the feathers, which is the same as on the, where did I have it?
There was a postcard.
Postcard, yeah. Yep. So again, if you're looking to do like a nice little set for somebody, that would be great. You could put together the same images. And, you know, he's handsome. He's a handsome looking guy.
Yeah.
You know, little dental work.
Yep.
Not a problem.
Little problem, but you know, perfectly imperfect, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. So, you know, really nice. Now, are these, they're like the cardboard.
Yeah, these are like the corkboard ones that you get when you go out to a restaurant or a bar.
Great.
Yeah, and they're super fun to press on. Again, double-sided, so each one was 2 impressions. But
Yep. So you grab a set of these, you get somebody, you know, their favorite bottle of whatever. It's a gift.
Absolutely.
I love that idea. Excellent. What else did you bring me for props?
Oh, okay. So I wanted to actually talk a little bit about where the name came from, because everybody always says Shuttle Press Bindery.
Yeah, I don't know what a shuttle is.
What does that
What
mean?
is the shuttle?
So, I'll hand you one.
Oh.
This is a shuttle.
Oh.
This is a tatting shuttle, and these belong to my great-grandmother.
Oh.
So,
Don't break it.
she used to make lace by hand with
okay.
these, and it was just incredible. And she would make these little tiny lace flowers, and my great-grandfather would draw the stems and, you know, make them into little flowers on stationery, and then they would sell the stationery.
Oh, wow.
So I just thought I wanted to, again, pay kind of homage to where all of this started, and so shuttle just felt like the right name for me. So these are her tatting shuttles, and then, I don't know how much of this you'll be able to see on the live stream, but these are examples of her tatting that I framed up. So,
oh, those are so
and I
cute.
keep this is framed in my studio. And it's just something to kind of help me remember where I came from. But yeah, it's just
so
tiny little tatting work that she used to do.
Well, Gabby's going to bring it over so people can get a good view of it.
So yeah, you know, and a lot of people go, oh, you know, it's a real mouthful, but it's the right
mean, the
name.
press and bindery part I got.
Yeah, it's the shuttle part is always a little confusing.
So is it because it kind of goes like?
Yeah, at one point I had taught myself how to do it, but it never really stuck with me.
So you're paying homage through the name for that part of the art from them.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Yep.
So I love that.
Yeah.
So the other big part of your line that is kind of like the part of your line are your notebooks, your journals, your diaries. I mean, these are like your creme de la creme of your line.
Yeah, yeah.
And people, I know when they're over there looking at them, because people go, oh, and they go, oh, these are so nice. Yeah. So I know when they're looking. So let's talk about those. Sure. Do you want to start with your do-si-do?
Yeah, we could start with a do-si-do.
Okay.
I brought a new one.
Oh, you brought a new one. Okay, so you talk about that one. I'm going to hold this one.
These are really fun. Reason being is that they're quite literally 2 books in one. So you have it opens 2 different ways, which is it's a traditional style. You know, called the do-si-do. But
Where did the do-si-do come from? I had never heard of a do-si-do.
So, bookbinding is kind of this wild frontier where people just kind of try and push on the medium and just say, you know, how can we innovate this or how can we make it different? And
I had never ever heard of
yeah, this was a structure that I had learned when I was in college, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And it's so unique, and especially as somebody who I do a little bit of writing and I do a lot of drawing. And sometimes I don't want both things in the same notebook, but I want them together. So it's like, well, I can write on this side and then I can draw on this side.
Yes.
So it's very versatile, it's very unique, it's absolutely a conversation starter. And if you have somebody who really likes to journal, these are a great option, because you could break it up by season, or you could break it up by event, or however you want to do it. I've also heard of people getting these and doing kind of like a his and hers, or you know, something for, you know, best friends to each journal on a trip, or something along that line. So just a really kind of fun and unique
That's a cute
take on
idea.
journaling. So,
So this one is a little bit smaller than the one you have.
yep, this one's a slightly larger one.
Now, what do you use for your cover?
So there's a variety of
That's so
different
pretty.
materials
Look
that I
at that
use.
with
Yeah,
the
this one's got a
silver
little bit of shine to
metallic.
it.
Yeah.
So a lot of these are fine art papers that I get from art supply stores. This one features book cloth, which is basically kind of like a rough canvas. It's a very traditional bookbinding material. The one that you're holding is the fine art paper, and the spines on that one are made from wallpaper.
Oh, wow.
So this feeds back into my kind of passion for upcycling. I had come into possession of a old wallpaper book that was like out of style, because they update them every few seasons. And so I picked one up and I said, oh, this is really kind of cool. Like, I might as well use this for something. So whenever I can, I try to use materials that are otherwise going to be discarded. And wallpaper is really, really sturdy and structurally really strong. So I find that it's really, really great for binding. And the funny part about that, and another one of my props that I brought, was this is a wallpaper folder that was made by my great-grandfather.
Oh, wow.
So he used to make these, and he would store things in them. And I think sometimes there was, little packets of my great-grandmother's tatting or different projects they were working on.
Thomas Johnson.
Yep, that was him. So, again, it's another way to just kind of feed back into
And this has
the
held up
history
all
for
these
me.
years.
Yes, it's
So it looks
great.
like it could be brand new.
Isn't it awesome?
That's really neat. Well, look
So,
at that.
yeah.
That is pretty cool. These are great. We've already sold one of these.
Yeah.
So this little one, this little handmade do-si-do, is $28 here in the shop, and this is absolutely adorable. Oops.
Insanely good price for the quality, though.
Yes, absolutely. And again, if you know somebody who is like, who loves to write, who's like the paper buff, loves to have like a little journal at hand, I mean, this is perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
And that one, I love the paper.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of shine, but it's not like too crazy.
No,
so.
no, that's like, that looks like something like a queen would have next to her bedside, so she could just write a few thoughts before she goes to bed.
Yeah, or write her dreams when she wakes up in the
Oh my
morning.
goodness, yes. Oh yes. Before she lays her head on her feather pillows.
Oh my god.
I like it. Oh, come on.
This is the punchy part, isn't it?
It is the punchy part. I love these though. These
Thank
are
you.
nice.
Thank you.
And then we have, this is the other one that I've
Yeah.
liked since you brought it in.
Yep.
So people notice this right away. I wonder why. So this is your handmade triangle journal.
Yeah. Yep.
Why is it called a triangle journal?
So, well, I wonder.
Yes.
It's because it's a triangle.
Okay.
And
I'll buy that.
Once again, this is another sort of byproduct of having scraps of paper left over from different projects and going, well, I don't want to throw this in the trash, but it's kind of a weird shape. What can I do with it? It's like I can, bind it together and make it into a really unique book.
That was pretty cool.
Again, conversation starter, something outside the box, especially if you're an artist, having kind of a non-traditional shape that you're sketching on. I mean, who knows what could happen. So.
And this one, the paper, what is this paper?
That's actually scrapbooking paper.
That's
so,
neat.
Yeah.
And then this looks like
fine art paper for
because it's like it has like that rough kind of
that
hand
deckled edge.
torn,
Yep.
And then you can see here, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can actually see the bump where the binding
Where the sewing
are.
is,
the
yeah.
sewing,
And that's what I need, I guess the binding part of this comes in, is that all of these books are sewn by hand. So I'm cutting the paper down by hand. I'm folding each signature by hand. I'm punching all of the holes by hand. I'm sitting there with a needle and thread, sewing them together by hand. This is all done in the traditional old world way. And I absolutely love it. For me, it's like Zen. It's like I get in my space and I just sew and these books appear and it's wonderful.
I love that you love to do that because I could not do that. Yeah, no, I'm going to be having a similar conversation tomorrow with Maura, with her pottery, because no, I don't have the patience to do that. And it's just so pretty. Like it feels almost like, it feels like a spine, because it is. It's the book's spine.
Right.
But it's just so nice.
Yeah. And
the texture of these are just so amazing.
You can't compare, especially the kind of traditional style hand bindings to a lot of the mass manufactured books of today.
This is very special. So this is $30, and this thing is like so unique, and it's just so cool to look at. Like, I would just have it just to look at. I don't even know if I would write in it necessarily, but it's just neat. So yeah, so we have that one, and then what about this little one?
So this one came in with me tonight. This one I used. I love floral stuff. It's so beautiful to me. So this is floral scrapbooking paper on the outside. Pretty much your typical little journal, except there's pockets inside.
Pockets.
So there's 2 little sections in this journal with pockets. And I don't know about you, I listen to other women talk, and other women are like, oh my gosh, I love that dress, but if only it had pockets, right?
My wedding dress has pockets.
Your wedding, there you go, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, I love this journal, if only it had pockets. Well, guess what? It does. So whether you're journaling about, I know we're not doing concerts these days, but like concert tickets, Polaroid photos, whatever you want to put in there,
That's awesome.
you can add to this little journal.
I love the pockets. And again, has you can see, oh, that's so cute. That is so good. You know what this would be great for too? Like if you gifted this to somebody, right? So you dedicate it here.
Yep.
And then let's say you put like a gift card
In the pocket.
And then you or a scratch ticket.
Yep.
Or something.
Yep.
You
Brilliant.
could like put it all in here, and you could do like the nicest little gift.
Little gift package, exactly.
Oh!
It's like a card with itself.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, this would be such a good idea for a gift. And it's only $28.
Yep.
That's so nice. Oh, I have great ideas. I'm getting really good ideas with this. Okay, love that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some more of your journals. What do you have in the back?
Sure. So this one and this one
This
are pretty
one.
much the same structure.
Okay.
So these ones are actually an exposed binding, so you can kind of see some of my handiwork on these. And these I have used, in this one it's all leather strips. This one is twine and then a strip of leather for decoration. It's just kind of another style of journal. Again, blank pages, you can either write or sketch in these, whichever you prefer. Smaller profile, just so that you're not carrying around something super heavy. These are, I imagine these are like, you bring them on a hike, or you know, you bring them out with you wherever you go.
Yeah, you could like press like flowers or
you
leaves
could put
as
flowers
you go
in
along.
them, really whatever you, I mean ultimately, as an artist, there's no greater compliment to my work is you being an artist too, and really using these to be creative, and I love hearing when people do that. So
this is like super soft. This leather is very soft. This is very nice.
Thank you.
And this is just paper?
Yep, just marbled paper.
The pretty like wave to it. Almost looks like you dipped it in like the what is that stuff? The acrylic.
It's like the ink thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The alcohol inks.
The dips.
Looks like
yeah. Marbled paper actually has a really long history with bookbinding. It's kind of a very traditional thing, especially if you look back at old Italian bookbinding. So every once in a while I'll find one that I think kind of goes with the feeling I'm trying to portray with my work.
This is very pretty. So this is $25. Mm-hmm. Is that one $25?
Yep, this one's also $25.
Wow, these are nice. Oh, okay. Great gift ideas, people. Good gift ideas. All right, so what are we going to look at next? Want to look at this one? Sure. We'll look at this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this one. Okay, so this, and I hope the camera can pick it up. This is embossed.
Yes.
Did you emboss this?
I did not emboss this myself.
Okay.
But again, this is a great situation where I was upcycling. I just find scraps of paper. This actually came off of the front of a folder that I had found randomly. I was like, wow, this is a great folder. I need to do something with it. And so it became a book cover. And again, it just goes to show that everything that I make is one of a kind. Like, I'm never going to be able to produce a book exactly like that ever again.
This is beautiful.
So, I try and find things that are really unique, really beautiful,
so
something
these are like
that you pick
thistles.
Up and you want to hold. And
so it's got the thistles on the front with the leaves, and then again, this has got the art paper.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That is so pretty, and the color is just so nice. And then you open it up, and you've got your, your unlined paper, so you can do anything with it. And it's nice. It's got a nice size to it. And again, you can see the sewing marks here underneath the bumps. That's beautiful. And the back and the front has that kind of dimple texture
nice
on
little
it.
bit of texture
Yeah,
to it. Yep.
very nice.
Yeah.
And this is $30. So again, you get one of these for a friend with a beautiful pen.
Mm-hmm.
That is a gorgeous gift. Beautiful for anybody who likes to journal. Love. That's and the colors play nice together.
Yeah.
The brown with the blue. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
What's the other one you have
thank
over there?
So this one again is utilizing wallpaper.
We looked at this one.
But the fun little feature of this one, which again, I don't know how much detail you're picking up on the camera, this is a strip of fish leather.
Gabby and I looked at that the other day. We're
Yeah.
like, huh, what's that made out of? Yes. We're like, what's that made out of? And they're like, oh.
This, I brought a couple. This is a piece of fish leather.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
So,
a dark fish.
This is a dark colored fish. I mean, I think a lot of them, it's like a traditional tanning process, so you can get different colors. This one's got a little bit more of a shine to it.
Mm-hmm.
And these are kind of the leather of the future. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from leather products. I try to use upcycled leather when I do bind. In fact, I brought a piece of leather as well. This used to be part of an old jacket.
Yep.
So I'll go to thrift shops and I'll look in bargain bins and I'll find stuff with damage or, watermarks or, something that's not going to be worn, like, that horrifying, shoulder pad 1980s monstrosity jacket. And I will buy it and use the leather from that for my books. So it's not going to waste. It's a more ethical source for the leather. Fish leather, as I said, I think is the leather of the future, and the reason being is it's a much faster renewable resource, and it's also a natural byproduct of the seafood industry.
Right.
So you're eating the fish, and then these are being tanned, and they make a beautiful leather. They really do.
It is. It's really nice. I mean, I wouldn't have known that's what it was.
Yeah.
Until we actually read the tag. So
Yeah.
I mean, and then the paper that's on it too. I mean, it just looks so pretty.
I thought it was like snake or something.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Snake-like,
We
because
thought
it
it was
has
snake.
the scales, but the
It
scales
looked like
don't fall
reptile.
off or anything like that. Like the way that it's been cured is a very, very nice process. So I'm just excited. It's something a little bit different.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And it's a nice size. Again, for somebody who likes to really journal, put down their thoughts. Beautiful pen with this. This one's $42, and this is a super nice gift for somebody.
Yeah.
This is like, they're gonna know you love them when you give them this, and they're gonna be surprised when they realize what's on the front.
Right.
I mean, this is not your typical.
No, it's not.
This is not your typical journal. This is really nice. That's awesome. All right, what else we have? You brought more stuff.
I did.
Let me
I'll put this back over here.
see.
So this is I have two more journals here.
Oh,
this
yeah.
one, again, that's another wallpaper, but that one has an actual inlaid strip of leather.
Yes, that's beautiful.
It was mostly just an experiment on my part. I was like, I wonder how this would work. And so I had fun just kind of putting that together. And then this is kind of the creme de la creme of my book binding, which is a full leather binding.
That's beautiful.
Again, this leather came from a jacket. It's got the old stitching from the original manufacturing here. It's got a couple of spots on it that are a little bit weathered. It has a story. I don't know what the story is, but it's got a story.
It's gorgeous.
And it's just super buttery soft leather. Absolutely gorgeous.
This is like bomber jacket kind of leather.
Yep.
Really soft.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
And it's only $40.
Yep. And this one is $60 because of the full leather.
This is beautiful.
So.
Absolutely beautiful. You know what? Before we forget, what are those in the front? We didn't talk about those. Let me see that one.
Okay.
I want to feel that one. That one feels nice.
So these are fun. These are recycled store signage. So the big giant posters that stores will put, like, Market Basket has the big red and white signs that say, on special pork chops this week. The covers of these are made from old store signs.
Really?
So, and I had gotten I used to work retail. I'd gotten a hold of some of these signs and I said, these would make great book covers. And people have been really receptive to these. They're really, really fun. I'm finding it's increasingly hard to get people to give you their signs. So if anybody has, access to getting me some signs, that would be amazing. So I can keep producing these.
That's so funny.
But they're so fun, and every single one of them looks a little bit different. You're never going to get the same one twice. And it's also a great way to be using a material that would otherwise be discarded or put in a landfill.
Yeah.
So
This looks like it said prize, maybe.
It might have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah,
prize.
I don't know.
I can't
This
tell.
one definitely had a 3 on the back at some point, but
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
really
that's
fun.
really
They're
cool.
really fun, and again, they're a good size.
But I would prefer this one. If you want to give
Yeah.
me one, I'll take this one.
Right.
Oh my
You know?
god.
Just saying.
Yeah.
These are nice, but I'll
Yeah.
take this one. Just saying. This is super nice.
Thank you.
I mean, this is so soft.
Yeah.
I mean, this literally feels like a lamb's, like
Yeah.
the lamb,
Yep.
lambskin leather,
Yep, yep.
like bomber jacket
Yep.
kind of a feel.
Mhm.
That is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought about making one like this and including the zipper?
I haven't,
And then you could include the zipper.
but that would be fun.
And then you could put like a little place where you could tuck in your pen.
And you could tuck something inside
Yeah, you could put
it.
your pen in there.
Ooh, see, now you're getting my brain
I'm
churning.
just saying. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Like you could just unzip it and stick your pen
stick
in
something.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be great. You could name it the Maureen.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're gonna name her now.
No.
So, I mean, I think that is just amazing. And I can't believe how much time it takes to do these.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, it becomes almost like an assembly line process where I'll sit down in my studio and be like, well, what do I feel like today? It's like, I can do some sewing today, and I will just sit and sew text blocks for half a day, and then I have 6 books that are, in progress.
But
and
for
then,
you to have your
covering
prices,
and all of that.
nobody ever understands. Like, no artist gets what they should get for their art.
Yeah,
That's like
Yeah.
a rule
Yeah.
anyway. It's a terrible rule, but
it
it's
is.
the rule.
It is.
But the amount of work and the time consumption it takes for you to make something that is really an ancient art.
Yeah.
And, one at a time.
Yeah.
And the pricing that you have on this, Dana, is incredible for the skill that's
That goes
involved.
into it, yeah.
And it just,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad we've had this opportunity.
Right.
Because people would not understand that. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that people will come away tonight with a really good understanding
Right.
of what is really involved
Right.
in making your pieces.
Yeah.
Like from coasters all the way up to something like this gorgeous journal. I mean, these one at a time. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
a coaster.
Yeah, this is not your laser printer
No,
over here, it's
no,
but
this
at the
takes
end of it, I mean,
time.
it's a labor of love, and I do these things and I make these things because I like to. At the end of the day, I do it because it's what I'm passionate about. I do it because I love to do it.
Yeah.
And then by extension, to see people who interact with these pieces and who bring them home and love them and write in them, what's going on in their lives, or, draw a picture of, the landscape that they went out to see. I mean, for me, that's just what makes it all worth it at the end of the day, is knowing that I'm making artifacts that people are going to enjoy and use, and it's no disrespect to people who are putting something up on a wall, but like, that's it, you put it on a wall. This is something you carry with you, something that you use, something that you interact with, and I absolutely love that aspect of this process.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
I'm thrilled that you're in the store here in
Thank
the
you.
shop with
I'm
us.
happy to be here.
It's great. So, folks, we have everything you see here available here in the shop. So you need to come and visit us. The Perfectly Imperfect Gift Shop. We're at 735 Salem Street in Lynnfield. So tomorrow we're going to be open from 10 to 5. Thursday we're here from 12 to 6. Friday from 10 to 5, depending on the snow. Saturday 10 to 5. Sunday from 11 to 4. Thank you, Dana, very much.
Thank
Again, this is Shuttle Press Bindery. If you have any questions at all, if you're looking at the replay, you can always message us. We'd be happy to assist you. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it.
And I will say, anybody who's interested in learning more, I have a write-up about the history of the press and all kinds of stuff you can learn about me. That's all at shuttlepressbindery.com, all one word. Please like me on Facebook. Please find me on Instagram at shuttle_press_bindery. I also have an Etsy shop, and I do take custom orders. So if you say, hey, I really love that do-si-do, but I would like it in a different size or a different color, reach out to me. We can make it work.
Awesome. I love that. Custom work is always so nice.
Yep.
All right, folks, everyone, have a great evening and a
Thank
perfectly
you.
imperfect night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.